It's time to get your news on. We are VK1WIA.
Yes, as an unwise man once said, it's time. With national news for week commencing November 5, 2023, in our 28th year of non-stop news, Australia's longest running, I'm Editor Graham, VK4BB. Now, because so much is happening socially this month, we're going to start with the social scene, so you don't miss a thing. And we'll start with a reminder. Alara Meet 2023 is on now, November 4 and 5 in Hobart. Then we're off to Rosebud and Andrew, VK3CAH, the Goldie and Paul, VK4PY, Seaford in VK5, Nathan VK5DAD, and VK7 Double Scotch in Lonnie, VK7 Whiskey. But now to the Southern Peninsula Amateur Radio Club.
This is Andrew, VK3CAH from the Southern Peninsula Amateur Radio Club, with a reminder that the Rosebud Radio Fest will be held this year on Sunday, the 12th of November. In addition to sales of new and pre-loved equipment in the main hall, the Rosebud Radio Fest sets itself apart with the excellent range of forums which are presented. This year, topics being covered are multi-operator remote amateur radio stations by Steve Kennedy, a VK6SJ, M17 open source digital platforms by Tony Langdon, VK3JED, Operation Radar, rapid deployment of amateur radio, supporting communities in times of crisis by Neil Patton, the VK3ZVX. So come along and enjoy the equipment sales, great catering and excellent forums in the Rosebud Radio Fest. See you in Rosebud. This is Andrew, VK3CAH.
Hi, I'm Paul, VK4PY, and if you're on the Gold Coast next weekend, why not pop into the Gold Coast Amateur Radio Society Hamfest on Sunday, the 12th of November. The event will be held at the Country Paradise Parklands at 231 Beaudesert Nerang Road, Nerang. Entry ticket prices are still the same, with $5 per person, with the doors opening to the public from 8:30am. Some of the tables that have been purchased for the event are supplies to the industry, along with other fellow amateurs and other clubs. Once again, we're having the very popular bacon and egg muffins, as well as other items for the barbecue. To book a table or other info, go to allthews.gcars.com.au and look for the Hamfest tab, or email hamfest@gcars.com.au. See you hopefully at the Hamfest on the 12th of November. I'm Paul, VK4PY, and you're tuned to VK1WIA and the National News Service.
Hi, this is Nathan, VK5DAD from the South Coast Amateur Radio Club. Just a reminder, on Thursday the 23rd of November at 7pm, we have our annual general meeting at Railway Parade, Seaford Meadows Scout Hall. All is welcome. This has been Nathan, VK5DAD, on behalf of the South Coast Amateur Radio Club.
Hi, this is Nick, VK7 Whiskey. Has your Lancaster bomber lost its 1155 transmitter? Has the Royal Flying Doctor Service missed a 1 kilowatt Codan linear? Is the New Zealand Army looking for another ZC1, or perhaps you're looking for something more modern? Well, we know where to find them. At the massive radio auction to be held on Saturday the 25th of November 2023 at the Northern Tasmania Amateur Radio Club club rooms in Rocherlea, Launceston. For a preview list of some of the items, please email secretary@entarc.net. That's November Tango Alpha Romeo Charlie.net. Oh, and the date again, Saturday the 25th of November 2023. See you there, 73s from VK7 Double Scotch.
Connecting Australian radio amateurs. The Wireless Institute of Australia and the weekly news service continues. We are VK1WIA.
G'day, this is Chris Dimitrievich, VK3FY, on behalf of the board of the Wireless Institute of Australia for this week's VK1WIA news. The topics for this week's broadcast are as follows. 1. AGM 2024 in Bundaberg, Queensland. 2. Alara Meet 2023 Tasmania. 3. Approval to use VK1WIA for callbacks in South Australia. Topic 1. A reminder that the annual general meeting of the Wireless Institute of Australia will be held on the weekend of 4th to 5th of May 2024 and will be hosted by the Bundaberg Amateur Radio Club in Bundaberg, Queensland. Set aside that weekend to attend the AGM and catch up with some mates. A tour of one of the distilleries is planned, and that should be some fun. Topic 2. The Wireless Institute of Australia passes on our congratulations to the Australian Ladies Amateur Radio Association, more commonly known as ALARA, who will be concluding their ALARA Meet 2023 in Hobart, Tasmania this weekend. ALARA Meet happens every 3 years, and it's an opportunity for WIAs within the ALARA organisation and other amateur radio operators to meet in person. Anyone wishing to seek further information on ALARA can look them up at www.alara.org.au. Topic 3. Peter, VK5JP, has requested to utilise the call sign VK5WIA for use during the weekly news broadcasts callbacks on AusRepeaterNet WiresX Room 24160. The board of the WIA have approved his request for the use of the call sign, and you should hear the start of this following this week's news broadcasts. The WIA encourages any other news broadcasters, should they wish to utilise WIA call signs, to put their request to the board of the WIA by emailing secretary@wia.org.au. This has been Chris Dimitrievich, VK3FY, on behalf of the board of the WIA for VK1WIA News.
This is Roger Harrison, VK2ZRH, Editor-in-Chief of Amateur Radio Magazine. Here's a chance in a lifetime. Sign up to use VK90AR, the special event call sign celebrating 90 years of Amateur Radio Magazine. That call sign won't be coming around again, not even if we are still publishing in another 90 years. A historic call sign for a historic occasion. Last month, Amateur Radio Magazine reached the milestone of being published continuously since October 1933. That's why we're marking the occasion by arranging keen operators to get on air and make some noise with VK90AR. With the solar cycle really crackling right now, here's an opportunity to add to the noise on the bands. The call sign is for use by any member of the WIA as well as any affiliated club. Signing up to use VK90AR is a simple process. Just apply on the WIA website online event calendar, where you can book a roster to suit yourself. If you already know where the online event calendar is, jump to it, or go to the website address in the text version of this broadcast. It's also in a news item featured on the WIA website homepage. VK90AR expires on 31st December 2023. So get online, book a roster and don't miss out. You might like to use VK90AR on AM on 7125 kHz as a nod to our heritage. How about it then? I'm Roger Harrison, VK2ZRH for VK1WIA News.
From here, there and everywhere, you've tuned to the Wireless Institute of Australia's national news service. We are VK1WIA. Now with international news, Jason, VK2LAW.
Hello. Leading this week's international news from Region 1, HF Beacon Charlie Sierra 3 Bravo Madeira destroyed in wildfire. The radio beacon Charlie Sierra 3 Bravo on the Portuguese island of Madeira was destroyed by fire on October 12. Destroyed was radio ICOM 7200. It had only been installed in September 2023. CS3B was part of NCDXF's International Beacon Project, a series of HF beacons operating on 14100, 18110, 21150, 24930 and 28200 kHz. The site of Charlie Sierra 3 Bravo is off the northwest coast of Africa and was an ideal location to test radio propagation on the HF bands between Europe and North America. The fire damage to the site is quite extensive, as the building that housed the beacon was also destroyed, as was the antenna. Given the extensive damage, this HF beacon is likely to be out of service for some time. 26th IARU Region 1 General Conference. The 26th IARU Region 1 General Conference opened last Tuesday, 31st of October in Serbia. The opening plenary was held Wednesday, the 1st of November, with the closing plenary yesterday, Saturday, the 4th of November. There were 89 delegates from 43 member societies attending together with the 33 officers from the IS, Regions 1, 2 and 3. Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning, the HF, EMC, Youth and VHF-UHF committees met. Thursday afternoon and Friday, the Administration, Financial, Emergency Communication and Spectrum and Regulation committees met. There will also be various sessions on the shaping of the future of amateur radio. Russian amateurs holding the country's highest class of radio licence are now being permitted to use the 6-metre band with up to 1 kilowatt, this under a verbal agreement with the Russian regulator. Hams with Russian call signs have been using the band since 2014 from Crimea when that territory was annexed. This was a privilege carried over from the time when 6-metre operation was permitted in Crimea when it was part of Ukraine. Russian amateurs have long contended that if authorities recognise 6-metre operation from Crimea, the privilege should be extended to all Russian hams. To news from Region 2, FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel says the FCC plans to incentivise innovation and experimentation in the amateur radio bands by getting rid of outdated restrictions and providing licensees with the flexibility to use modern digital emissions. The Commission, at its November meeting, is expected to take action on a report and order that would eliminate the band rate limitation and establish a bandwidth limitation in the amateur radio bands below 29.7 MHz. The order being circulated for tentative consideration by the Commission would remove the baud rate limitation, the rate at which the carrier waveform amplitude or frequency and or phase is varied to transmit information. For data emissions in the amateur radio bands, the FCC says. The current baud rate limits were adopted in 1980. In other news, the FCC deadline for US hams to file comments on their 60-metre band proposal has been extended to November 28. The comment period was originally to close October 30, 2023. The 18th annual ARRL online auction, sponsored by RT Systems Inc., raised $31,000 in support of amateur radio. The auction took place during October 13 to 19, 2023. In addition to hundreds of viewers, the auction saw 244 individual bidders vying for product review equipment, vintage books, mystery junk boxes from the ARRL lab, and more. The National Association of Broadcasters has announced the preliminary attendance numbers for NAB Show New York, which was held October 24 to 26 at the Javits Centre. This year, NAB said the annual show drew 12,231 people to the Big Apple, a 28% increase from 9,500 attendees in 2022. Nearly 270 exhibitors can be found across the show floor, including 60 first-time exhibitors. NAB said there were approximately 225 sessions featuring approximately 300 speakers. In news from Region 3, 72 passengers, predominantly from South 24 Parganas district in West Bengal, who met with an accident in Tamil Nadu during their tour of South India, were safely rescued from the accident site through prompt intervention from local amateur radio operators along with the local administration. A local ham radio operator who was travelling by motorcycle first came across the injured tourists and informed the Indian Institute of Hams, IIH. Manjura Nathar and Sarkur Sachapal of IIH contacted the local administration and the entire team reached the spot. The passengers were rescued and necessary arrangements were made for medical services. The IIH has a special event station, Alpha Tango 30, India Hotel, QRV until December 31 to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Indian Institute of Hams. India's space agency, the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, has taken a significant step forward in its ambitious Gaganyaan project by successfully conducting the first in a series of test flights. The project aims to send astronauts into space by 2025, making India the fourth country after the Soviet Union, United States and China to achieve this milestone. The primary objective of this test flight, known as Flight Test Vehicle Abort Mission 1, was to ascertain the spacecraft's ability to safely rescue the crew in the event of a rocket malfunction. The chairman of ISRO announced the success of the mission, eliciting cheers and applause from his colleagues. For VK1WIA National News in Sydney, I'm Jason, VK2LAW.
We are VK1WIA. Now, operational news with VK4FUQ. Felix.
Hello there. Now, contest-wise. Last weekend was the CQ Worldwide SSB contest, and one entry in particular was a little different and a fantastic idea. Ben, VK4YT, Media Officer for the Tablelands Radio and Electronics Club, joins us to kick off this week's operational news.
On Saturday, the 28th of October, members from Trek were at Kirai State School on the Atherton Tablelands participating in the CQ Worldwide SSB contest with a very enthusiastic group of grade 5 and 6 students. Norden students and a teacher who hold their foundation licences were on the air, and we had some other teachers and parents on the radio putting out calls under supervision from the kids as well. We were using an IC7300 and Alacraft amp into a tri-band Yagi on 10, 15 and 20 metre bands on the club's tower trailer. We were using the call sign VK4KSS and did a combination of hunt and pounce and calling CQ throughout the day. Last year the group came 3rd in Australia and 8th in Oceania in the category they entered with around 11,000 points. This year, after scores were tallied, we had over 82,000 points with 278 QSOs from 12 hours of operating, so the kids really outdid themselves. Thank you to all the volunteers who gave their time to help set up and operate the contest station, and to those who returned our calls. This is Ben, VK4YT from Tablelands Radio and Electronics Club, 7-3 and good DX.
Thanks, Ben. And as our news editor, when serving in the military, would have said, well done those men. Okay, and women. Hi, hi. Now our next two November contests. UHF Spring Field Day, 25-26 November. 0100 hours UTC Saturday to 0059 hours UTC Sunday. But to make it a little fair in VK6, they add 3 hours on the start and end times. 75th CQ Worldwide DX Contest CW Leg is also in November, 25-26. On the 160 to 10 metre contest bands. Exchanges Signal Report and UCQ Zone. DX Window. The special call sign VI7ALARA is active on the HF bands until the 8th of November. That's Wednesday. Commemorating the Australian Ladies Amateur Radio Association's meeting being held in Hobart. The call sign is being operated by a number of YLs in Tasmania and throughout Australia. Call sign VI4ACRO activation this entire month. November brings awareness of the debilitating medical condition acromegaly. VI10 VKFF running all year celebrates the 10-year anniversary of the VKFF group. VK90AR for Amateur Radio Magazine. October 2023, this year, sees your WIA celebrating 90 years of continuous publishing of Amateur Radio Magazine, the official journal of the Wireless Institute of Australia. The WIA will be running VK90AR activity until December 31. Special event station VI100MB all year celebrates the centenary of the Mani Warringah Radio Society. For VK1WIA National News, I'm Felix, VK4FUQ Inningham.
From here, there and everywhere, you've tuned to the Wireless Institute of Australia's National News Service. We are VK1WIA. Now, special interest group news with Bruce, VK3FFF.
And a very good day to you. Worldwide special interest groups astronomy. Starlink satellites are emitting RFI that is causing issues for radio astronomers, even in so-called radio quiet zones such as the outback of Western Australia. That is the finding of a research team that published their findings recently in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics Letters. Stephen Tingay of Curtin University writes on the Cosmos magazine website that, using radio telescopes, the researchers detected signals at a number of licensed radio frequencies, but their greatest concern was over intended and unintended emissions from elsewhere. They traced those to Starlink satellites. The scientists' tests were conducted at the site where an SKA low facility is to be built in Western Australia. The research paper's purpose was to demonstrate that Starlink emissions were easily detected by low-frequency radio antennae that the scientists were using to represent the SKA low station, such as the one intended for that site. Known as version 2 of the Engineering Development Array, the antennas were utilised at 137.5 MHz and 159.4 MHz. The scientists wrote in their conclusion that, quote, "Our results indicate that both intended and unintended radiation from Starlink satellites will be detrimental to key SKA science goals without mitigation," end quote. The team recommends dialogue with SpaceX to work on a means of mitigation involving the use of version 2 of the Engineering Development Array at the site. Worldwide special interest groups, Final Frontier. Amateur radio on the International Space Station, ARIS, is planning their 40th anniversary celebration conference for February 22nd to 24th, 2024. The Positive Impact of Amateur Radio on Human Spaceflight 40th Anniversary Conference will be held at the Centre for Space Education Astronauts Memorial Foundation, adjacent to the NASA Kennedy Space Center Visitors Center in Florida. Organisers hope to gather volunteer teams, astronauts, space agency officials, educators and space and amateur radio enthusiasts to attend the event. Worldwide special interest groups, Maritime, to commemorate the November 10, 1975 sinking of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, the Livonia Amateur Radio Club, LARC, will operate special event station W8F at the museum on Saturday, November 11 from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. Their aim, contacting other amateur radio operators around the globe, reminding them of the Fitz's story. A special confirmation certificate will be available to those hams who make contact with W8F. Worldwide special interest groups, Radio Amateur Old Timers, and with this report, a not too well, Clive. Trust you and yours get over the dreaded COVID soon.
Hello everyone, this is Clive, VK6CSW, reminding you that the November RAOTC Bulletin goes to air tomorrow. This month we offer another historical broadcast by Alan Doble, VK3AMD, now SK, from February 2002. The latest club news and information will be broadcast next month. Everyone, RAOTC members and non-members alike, is most welcome to listen to the programme and to join in the callbacks afterwards. Full details of all transmission times and modes can be found on the RAOTC website at www.raotc.org.au or just Google RAOTC broadcasts. If none of the transmission times suit you, you can download the audio file at any time from today from the club website. Members and friends of the RAOTC in Perth are reminded that the next lunchtime meeting at the Woodbridge Hotel, East Guildford, will be on Tuesday, November the 14th. All are welcome. Full details are published on the club website. Once again, tune in tomorrow for the November RAOTC Bulletin. Enjoy the programme and please join in the callbacks afterwards. 7-3 from Clive, VK6CSW.
Thanks, Clive. Now from the older to we younger, it's Yoda Radio Amateur Young Timers. How to engage with we youth amateur radio STEM education. ARL Education and Learning Manager and IARU Region 2 Youth Coordinator Steve Goodgame, K5 ATA, gave the keynote address at the 2023 ARL Pacific Division Ham Radio Convention, also known as Pacificon. Mr. Goodgame was a public school teacher for 21 years. He carries his experience of bringing ham radio into the classroom into his role at ARL. It is safe to say I have learned a thing or two about reaching you youth along the way, he quipped. His presentation to a packed audience was a highlight of the convention. K5 ATA's passion and vision for promoting youth involvement in the hobby shined in his speech as he discussed STEM education and the importance of inspiring youth and teachers to engage in amateur radio and wireless technology. Now, we too can watch a vision of the future of amateur radio on the ARL HQ YouTube channel. And with that, I'm Alec, VK2APC in Sydney. It's back over to you, Bruce, VK3FFF.
Thanks, Alec. Now, Worldwide Special Interest Groups Rescue Radio.
Hi, I'm Mark, VK4DMH. Last Monday around 3:40pm, a call for assistance was heard on the 146.7 MHz Gold Coast repeater. There were 3 bushwalkers on the border track near Biddenborough, just over 30 kilometres southwest of Surfers Paradise, and 1 male within the group required urgent medical assistance following a short fall. There was no mobile phone coverage along the track, which is in thick rainforest. Fortunately, 2 of the group were amateur radio operators, Stuart, VK4MSL, and his father David, VK4MDL, and they both had their handheld radios on them. Stuart, VK4MSL, had put the call out for assistance, and Jeff, VK2DLA, replied. It was later established that 4 other local amateur radio operators were also monitoring the situation right from the initial call. A Queensland ambulance was dispatched, lights and sirens, on the 36-kilometre road trip up the mountains and back up from Queensland Police. The Polair helicopter was also sent to visually confirm the exact location of the patient. The police requested for Polair to use the 146.7 repeater so they could talk direct to Stuart. Jeff was happy to provide the frequencies and tone access, as well as the option to use a simplex frequency 146.5 MHz. But programming amateur frequencies into the helicopter proved to be a bit difficult. APRS also played an important role as Jeff, VK2DLA, was able to receive regular updates on Stuart's lat and long. With Jeff relaying the communications, it was important that just one operator was involved with the exchange of messages. By 5:30pm, the patient was in the ambulance on his way to hospital. Reports are that he's doing well.
Worldwide Special Interest Groups Video, ATV, SSTV and other forms such as YouTube. 41st AMSAT Space Symposium and Annual General Meeting. YouTube videos available. Yes, more than 12 hours of video recordings are on their YouTube page. You can easily find these videos by clicking on the Live tab under the Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation channel. Furthermore, YouTube offers closed captioning for these recordings. Just click on the CC icon in the video player's lower right corner. If you'd prefer, you can also enable subtitles in multiple languages. To help you quickly access video from the AMSAT Annual General Meeting, along with the 16 presentations given at this year's AMSAT Symposium, we have included, thanks to ANS and AMSAT, direct links for you in the text edition of this WIA National News. I'm Bruce, VK3FFF from sunny Bendigo.
2023 social scene and still on the horizon. VK3 Rosebud Radio Fest at Eastbourne Primary School, Sunday, November 12. VK4 the Gold Coast Hamfest, 8:30am, also next Sunday, November 12. VK7 the NTARC Massive Radio Auction, November 25. And in VK5, Amateur Radio Experimenters Group Radio and Electronic Sale, November 26. Now, thanks for listening and thanks to all our rebroadcasters. I'm Graham, VK4BB. Walk softly.
This has been the Wireless Institute of Australia with the weekly news service. This broadcast is in text, audio and video and is accessed on wia.org.au.
Courtesy of Bevan, VK5BD's ATV and YouTube channel, this has been WIA National News. We're back now, live and local, and your voice, your callbacks. And don't forget, tick like.